What if I told you there's a hidden network beneath everything we've ever built? A pattern so vast, so precise, that it stretches across the entire planet, connecting ancient sacred sites, secret military bases, and regions of inexplicable energy. It's called the Red Grid, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. At first, it sounds like New Age fantasy or tinfoil geometry, until you begin to realize just how many locations across the world line up perfectly. The Great Pyramid of Giza, Easter Island, Machu Picchu, Angkor Wat, the Nazca Lines, the Bermuda Triangle, all of them forming interconnected paths that seem random until they're overlaid on a globe. Then the pattern emerges, and it doesn't stop at ancient wonders. Dozens of modern military installations, especially the most secretive and protected, fall directly along these same invisible lines. The type of locations that don't appear on public maps, often tied to nuclear testing, deep space radar, time manipulation experiments, or advanced aerial craft research. When researchers started mapping this, they noticed many of these locations had been marked in red on Cold War-era government survey maps. That's how the name stuck, the Red Grid. Some say it's a coincidence. But when a coincidence happens hundreds of times across the planet, at exact intervals, you're not looking at chance anymore. You're looking at a system. This system isn't just geographical. It might be energetic. Nikola Tesla once described the Earth as a conductor of natural frequencies, believing we could transmit wireless power through the Earth itself. But his research was buried, shut down, suppressed. Some believe the Red Grid is exactly what Tesla was trying to tap into, a kind of energetic skeleton of the planet, capable of moving not just electricity, but thought, emotion, and information. But here's where things get darker. The governments of the world, they're not just aware of the grid, they're using it. Top-secret programs like HARP, IceCat, Pine Gap, and Russia's Sura project are all built on grid lines, harnessing electromagnetic power for experiments that no one wants to talk about. Weather modification, tectonic influence, mass communication disruption, even the manipulation of human perception itself through resonance. Some theorists believe these installations aren't standalone facilities, they're amplifiers. Hubs on a worldwide energy net, each pulsing with unseen frequencies that affect the very atmosphere around us. And then there's the paranormal. Skinwalker Ranch? Grid node. Diego Garcia? Grid node. The M Triangle in Russia, Area 51, the supposed Looking Glass facility in Iraq Hall, built where the Red Grid crosses itself. And in those regions, people report the same strange phenomena: time distortions, glowing orbs, electromagnetic anomalies, missing time, and encounters with entities that defy explanation. Are these just side effects of the grid's energy? Or are these places intentionally chosen to open something? Ancient legends speak of dragon lines or song lines, routes where the earth itself hums with power. Temples were built to align with the stars, yes, but also with the earth's own pulse. Maybe the ancients knew exactly what they were doing. Maybe our most advanced tech is just catching up to what's already been here. But the real question isn't whether the Red Grid exists. It's why it's being used and who it truly benefits. Some believe it's a map of control, that governments and corporations are using it to centralize power, that the sudden rise of so-called smart cities across the Middle East, Asia, and parts of Africa are being intentionally built along these grid lines, forming a new layer of influence for the next digital civilization. Entire cities constructed where electromagnetic influence is strongest. Coincidence or control? If you can influence emotion through frequency, if you can interfere with thought through resonance, and if you can transmit power wirelessly through carefully placed stations, then the Red Grid becomes more than a map, it becomes a control panel, a master switch for civilization. Some call this conspiracy. But what if it's just observation? A pattern hiding in plain sight. Every time someone tries to dig deeper into the red grid, they're shut down, silenced, mocked. Not because it's nonsense, but because it's too close to the truth. A truth that threatens the very structure we live in. And here's the strangest part. If the red grid wasn't created by us, then who built it? Was it an ancient lost civilization with knowledge far beyond ours? Or something non-human? There are whispers, barely whispers, of an ancient mapmaker race. Beings who seeded these locations long before we rose from caves. Beings who understood the earth like a living machine, and left behind a tuning system that could be activated only when the time was right. Maybe that time is now. And maybe we're not the ones activating it. So the next time you stand near a mountain, or walk through an ancient site, or hear about some distant military base you're not supposed to know about, ask yourself, what else is out there? What else connects them? And what happens when the grid wakes up? Thanks for diving into the strangest truth. The grid is real, and it's watching us. Stay curious.